I started a carpentry apprenticeship when I first turned 17. I loved it, but I was hanging out with people 8 to 10 years older than me. So we'd go to the pub for beers quite often. This is when I first started gambling. Starting on the pokies, I wasn't earning much and would only spend minimum amount of money on the pokies. I'd have a few bets here and there and also on a few small bets on horses on the tab machine. It wasn't a problem for me because the minute I left, it was out of my mind. I got my first bookmaker when I turned 18. The first ever deposit I did was 100% matched in bonus bets. It started out spending $20 here, $20 there with a few wins and a few losses. Within a month or so, I was spending more than I could afford. I knew I was getting hooked early on, but I didn't know just how bad I was going to get. The more I spent, the more I was looked after by these online bookmakers. Before long, I was spending everything I was getting paid. Most weeks I'd get paid at 6 p.m. and it'd be gone by Friday night. 6 p.m. Friday night, I'd get paid and it'd be gone that night. This led me to having numerous bookmakers on the go at once. Always being offered match deposits of 100% up to $1,000 every single week. Sometimes twice or two or three times a day from the same bookmaker. I had a $17,000 personal loan for a ute I bought when I was on my P's. And when I sold it, I spent a lot on the horses in one day. This led me to miss repayments on the loan week after week. And instead of paying the repayments back, I'd gamble everything I had. Because of this, I've spent the last 5 years avoiding phone calls from the bank chasing their money. That I've only just paid it off in the last 2 weeks. So, my credit rating is terrible because of this. And instead of paying back the repayments, I'd deposit everything I had and try and win enough to pay it. I've also withdrawn $10,000 of my superannuation to spend on gambling as I didn't see a need for it because I didn't think I'd have a future anyway. I was living with my partner for the first year that I was gambling, so my family didn't know, but I decided to tell them when I was losing control. They're extremely supportive of me. My partner and I moved back to my parents' house 4 years ago, and as my gambling progressed, it put stress and tension between my family, my partner and I became a compulsive liar, saying I hadn't been gambling and making up stories as to where my money was going. I've lied so many times about my addiction that for the last few years I don't feel like I belong in the family. I've completely betrayed my family and partner on so many occasions that the rare occasions that I'm telling the truth about where my money is going, I still feel I can't be trusted. My gambling has caused so many problems with my partner. She just wants the best for me, and I continually let her down with my actions. She's tried to look after my money for me to help me from losing it all, but she can't do it anymore. She got sick and tired of having to deal with me, begging for my money and lying to her about what I needed it for. There's been countless times where I've demanded my money off her and turned into a complete monster to get it. I've abused her, called her names and said things that I never thought as a kind human being could be said as a person who just wants the best for me. I'm not proud of how I've treated her, and I never will be. I knew I was in a deep hole when she'd be sitting in tears, begging for me to leave her alone, and all I could do was keep asking her before she finally gave in. I've borrowed money I haven't paid back. I've stolen money and made up stories of things I need to buy to get funds to feed my addiction after spending every cent I'd earned. I've withdrawn on my loan numerous times. I've had to borrow money to pay back credit cards that I only got to punt with. Nobody can trust me because I continually let them down with my actions and addiction. I've pushed away my closest friends and family in order to punt. I've burnt bridges with people simply because I can't be trusted. So many times I've been invited to go out and do things that I used to love, but have withdrawn from it because it gets in the way of my addiction. The rare times I would go camping or fishing with Dad or friends, I've withdrawn, sitting on my phone, hiding the fact that I was either gambling or still watching racing after I'd lost it all my money on it. My mental health and confidence is completely gone. Throughout my addiction, I've lost touch with myself. Self-care is a thing of the past. I went years without brushing my teeth. Now I have holes all through them, so I don't like smiling as I feel people see the holes. There have been countless times where I've lost everything and would sit there and think the best way out is to harm myself and end it. For so long, the only hope I had was knowing that another pay was coming the next week and I'd be able to deposit again and try and win it back. I was using a bookmaker so much that I was given a personal assistant who I could ring up any time of the day to get bonuses, deposit matches, inquiries on markets, etc. I was completely rinsing myself, getting bonus after bonus. One day I messaged Stephen, which his name was, asking for a deposit match on my next deposit, which normally he was replied to and granted within a few minutes, up to $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. I received a message off a number I didn't recognise. It was Steve, my assistant, messaging me to say that he was shutting my account and that it was for the best of me. He said I was too young to be doing this to myself, and there was more to life for me. If only I'd listened. I added this in because I feel if he had sent that message off the work number, the PointsBet work number that I would message, he'd get in trouble. Normally I'd shut my accounts permanently myself. However, on some occasions when I'd win big, my accounts would be restricted and bets I'd try to put on would be sent to a trader, often getting knocked back or my odds reduced. I've had bookmakers happy to give me bonus bets and offers for tickets to NRL games, functions, race meets when I'm losing, but the minute you start winning, my accounts would be closed. I can't watch footy games with family and friends on free-to-air TV anymore because of how many ads promoting gambling there are. The reality of gambling addiction is the opposite of what is portrayed on these ads. It's not fun when you've lost over $400,000, 7 years of your life, all your friends, the trust of your family, and lost yourself. They prey on innocent people saying how good online gambling is, how good dragging all your mates into a punters group is, how flashy the idea of landing big bets is. There's nothing in these ads saying that it can and will destroy your life. They don't care about people's lives being destroyed. As long as they're taking your money, then they're sweet. I started seeing a counsellor at Relationships Australia to try and get some help. They were great, however, the moment I was offered a deposit match on a new bookie, I would stop going and continue to gamble. I've been to GAs and hypnotherapy, but would give it a go for a while and stop straight away and get back on the punt. At the end of 2021, I spent my whole Christmas holidays in a rehab in Sydney. I managed to get a few weeks away from gambling after this, until seeing numerous gambling ads gave me the itch back and I relapsed, quickly going back to the exact habits I was doing before going away. I then got introduced to a second hypnotherapist who really helped me understand why I am like I am. In total, I've lost over $400,000 using over 100 online bookmakers. I banned myself from all Northern Territory licensed bookmakers 3 years ago. However, I still found a way to gamble online, being with New South Wales, Victoria, or South Australian licensed bookmakers. I'd received phone calls, emails and text messages from these other bookmakers offering me sign-up bonuses to join up. I've also received an email from BetNation, a Northern Territory licensed bookmaker who I had an account with previously, my account was life banned because it was in the Northern Territory. It was an email on who wants to be a millionaire around Melbourne Cup time. I think it was Melbourne Cup last year. I then received another email from them on the same day admitting they were retracting the previous email as it had come to their attention that my account had already been permanently closed. I have a copy of it here if anyone would like to see it. I take full responsibility for what I've become, and although not out of it, I'll get there. However, it makes it so hard to get my life back on track when I can't get away from the promotion of online gambling and continued offers of deposit matches. I worry for the young people innocently watching the footy on a Thursday, Friday or Sunday afternoon who are forced to watch countless ads from countless bookmakers dragging them into a life of problems. Bookies will live without ads and handing out bonus bets. But even the people it's harming won't. It's a silent killer for many, and I feel there needs to be more promotion on how people who are struggling can get help. There needs to be more promotion and funding into help for people struggling with gambling addiction. Make ads showing the truth of it all. I feel this could save plenty of lives lost to online gambling. It's no joke what online gambling does to you. You can punt any place, any time, as long as you have phone with reception. So please ban or at least limit the amount of ads promoting online gambling, and please ban bookmakers from offering first deposit matches and deposit matches once they know you're a losing gambler. For the rest of us, look out for your friends and family in general. Some are one win away from a smile and one loss away from death. Thank you.
Harry, I've been in this place 7 years, and while you're